Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and it's time for everybody's favorite video, the "Hey, you've probably got money you didn't know about" video. Since of course I sell singles, once in a while I look at the top prices and look for stuff that I know I have in either bulk or not usually bulk, but just cards that were like $3 and I didn't feel like selling. But once they suddenly spiked to 20, hey, if I've got 12 of them, that's a lot of money. And I love to share the knowledge with you guys because the whole point of this is, hey, maybe go look through your trade binder and find an extra $50 to $100 in in-store credit if you were to send them in on a buy list somewhere. I mean, that can buy you a whole dang deck, and Allegiance is about to come out. So this first one is Angrath the Flame Chain. Wow, this card was pretty much always $5 to $6 up until about December 18th. And then, well, as of today, it's about $18. I don't know if people are just like, hey, Rakdos is coming out. I mean, it's a 5-cost. Rakdos is usually fast, but then again, card drain away doesn't really work with Rakdos' mechanic. Probably, yeah. Honestly, I've been hyping up my red-black deck like it's God's gift to Magic, so I might have had something to do with the jump a little bit. Then again, I don't see people on Arena playing black-red decks that often. So honestly, I have no idea what this is going in or if it's purely speculative, but either way, if you got one, they're 18 apiece. Next up is Arclight Phoenix. I absolutely hate this card. It's one of the most expensive cards in Guilds of Ravnica. It's currently floating in between $25 and $30 depending upon where you buy it. I hate the card because it's not good. It's just another bulk red mythic, but it fits in exactly one type of deck, and that's it. And unfortunately, that deck is popular right now, so people now want it. Supplies run short when it's a mythic, and yeah. This is just an is it spell spam, whether or not it uses Thousand Year Storm or not. It's highly draw and control heavy. With that many ops and Chemister's Insights and that other draw one thing, plus obviously Jumpstart heavy, you can get to 3 spells, and there's a lot of milling this into the graveyard effectively with Surveil or similar to Surveil effects. That and of course red discard, so you can make it work. It's still a 3/2 flyer for 4. Anything can blow it up. It's just it keeps coming back, and any creature that keeps coming back over and over and over is going to be worth money. Well, if it finds a deck to go in, because remember at one point this card was $2.35. So most people at this point know this went up. I mean, it went up in like mid-October, and by November it was already $20, but it's gone up even higher now. Well, if you have any, sell them because they have limited, if not no, usability outside of standard. I mean, somebody could put together some weird gimmicky deck, but it doesn't go anything that comes to mind immediately. So yeah, this is going to plummet like a rock after standard rotates, so I would sell it now. Next up is Carnage Tyrant, the card that needs to be banned immediately because basically nothing stops this. I mean, what card can you name that actually can shut this thing down? No counter spells. No targeted spells, no targeted abilities or planeswalker abilities. I mean, yeah, the Eldest Reborn, yeah, because everybody plays that. You can't kill this thing. You can't stop it. You can't target it. It's not a fair card. This just comes into play, and you lose however many turns from now it takes to get hit for 7 every turn. A 7/6 with Trample can't be beaten in combat, especially when they keep blowing up your creatures because they're playing black as well in this deck. This card is way too good, way too impossible to stop. There are entire colors in Magic that can't stop this thing. Like red, what is red going to do to stop this? First Strike Ambush? Yeah, because everybody's playing that. So this gargantuan mistake of a card went from about, I don't know, $15, $20 on up to 30 lately. It's been falling a little bit. I don't know why, probably because people are flooding the market. It only really fell $3 since the start of December. But anyway, surprise, surprise, if you have one, sell one, because usually people just know that this was an expensive card. I mean, when it came out, it was like $30. But it fell because only people playing Dinosaur Ramp played it, and it didn't really fit in an Enraged deck. But now it is in black, red, and you can't stop it. So usually when you hear about something being expensive, it goes down. This time you hear about it being expensive and it went up. So definitely check that out. If you have one in your trade binder, I would recommend selling it immediately. Next up, Divine Visitation. It turns all your tokens into 4/4 angels. Very difficult to stop. We are going to have a lot of enchantment removal, so if you have a copy of this, sell it immediately because Allegiance, I keep saying it wrong, is going to just obliterate this card. So yeah, if this comes out and they can start getting it off, this is like a late game win condition for the Selesnya deck, which by the way is coming back. This card, people knew it was good. I mean, it launched at about $14. The problem is, it went into nothing. People just didn't play it in Selesnya, but now they do because Selesnya kind of sucked for a little bit. It was really good. Then people beat it. Now they're kind of getting less beatable with specifically this card. So it hit a low of about $3.50 to $4, but now it's 6 and change. So it didn't exactly fly through the roof. It's just people want it. There's some demand, and like I said, if you have one, I'd highly recommend dumping it. For literally the same reason, in literally the same deck, History of Benalia, this thing always was crazy expensive and just broken. I mean, after the launch of Dominaria, the thing hit like $25, but then it kind of fell, and then as soon as GRN came out and people were like, ooh, Convoke fodder, and boom, shot right back up to 25. So it actually has been falling since the release of GRN. It's actually all the way down to $18. It was like 26, but I just want to remind everybody that in case you didn't get the memo, it's still up from the $9 to $10 before GRN release price. So if you have one still sitting around, or if it's in a deck, I mean, you might want to sell it. It's getting devalued a little bit harder, and I think Selesnya is going to get nuked when the new set comes out. Next up, no surprise here, Legion's Landing is back. This card has been up and down. I mean, it always was probably about $5 on average. I mean, around release time, it was like $2 because people thought vampires weren't good. Black-white vampires are still good, FYI, and this isn't a bad card in a couple other decks, actually, like White Life Gain. So yeah, it fell to, boy, $2 to $3 before GRN came out, and then boom, spike. And then there was a later spike in the middle of November, so it's actually right now hovering around $8. Not bad. So hey, if you got a vampires deck sitting around, maybe pull these if you don't want to play with it and sell them, because they're worth more than they were when you built the deck, I guarantee. They're actually worth the most amount of money that they ever were in the history of the card right now. Next up, Niv Mizzet. This is a little surprising. I mean, you look at the card and you're like, it's hyper powerful, but then you look at the cost and you're like, okay, total write-off. I mean, people tried to get this as a pre-order for like $9, but then, boy, even like mid-September, before it even came out, the thing fell to $1.71. Actually, oh, wait a minute, I'm looking at the wrong graph. $1.30. Ouch. But it's been steadily increasing because Izzet always was one of the best guilds. It's just early on people thought that Selesnya was the hottest deck. It never was. I mean, it was good, but like one Ritual of Soot or one anything, Deafening Clarion, like almost every color combination in deck had an answer that nuked everything in Selesnya. So as soon as Selesnya died, and yes, I know I just said it's back, whatever, everything's getting rebalanced. Who cares about the meta? At the end of the day, this is a $6 card, and it has been since about the start of December. So if you got one, I know I personally have one in my trade binder. It just wasn't worth selling because on a buy list, it was like 50 cents back when I was selling them. I'll probably sell mine now. I mean, Izzet could get even worse with some Rakdos red cards in it, but it's hard to say, so with everything going for a spiral, if something's high now, yeah, hold it if you really want. It's a sketchy investment, but otherwise, strike while the iron's hot. By the way, I have killed this thing with no consequences whatsoever with a Ravenous Chupacabra more times than I can count on Arena. It's probably in the 20 to 30s. Next up, if you guys haven't heard about this one, prepare for a shock. Sur of Extinction, no, I'm not kidding. This card was 94 cents for like half a year. It's become a complete and utter meme at this point to put in a garbage red mythic in every set. Seriously, look back at the last 20 sets. Well, I've got news for you. It's over $9 right now. I mean, the card's hilarious. I think people run like one or two. It's more of a sideboard card on the competitive level, but I mean, you take out a land, but like if you had 7, they probably have 7. Honestly, they probably didn't need that land. The problem is 20 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. Like, this is a red board wipe for way the hell too much, and you know what has way the hell too much? Izzet. This also destroys a flipped anything. Search for Azcanta? Yeah, bye-bye. You're gonna be searching for some dinosaur bones right about now. So yeah, you cast Chemister's Insight enough times, you're gonna drop your way to 7 lands naturally and be able to cast this. People were concerned about the cast cost, and rightly so, 7 cost is up there. It's just the popular decks right now, people are like, wait a minute, this actually kind of slots in. So pretty crazy card, I'm kind of glad that it's seen some play, I think it's hilarious. By the way, before we jump to the next one, since I'm going to forget, Chapter 2 of the Ravnica storyline going up on my second channel, Desolator Gaming, link in the description, as soon as this video is done, or I should say an hour or two after it, because I haven't recorded it yet. I got quite a few views on Chapter 1, actually, over on my second channel, but not quite what I would get if I posted on this one, so just an FYI, head over there if you are a fan of my, As Told by Desolator series, I believe I called it. It's my version of the story, which, by the way, is not terrifically accurate, but it is terrifically funny. So next up is the Immortal Sun. This card was always good. I mean, it was always like $7-8, but Dominaria came out and people were like, oh, okay, I could do something with it. Hit 15, then just kind of went down. M19 didn't do anything for it. GRN didn't immediately do anything for it. But lately, actually early November, so not that lately, it shot back up because people can just get away with high mana costs. That's all that is. I've seen this in Izzet decks. I've seen it in 3-color decks. I've seen this in everything where people are just like, this is a cool thing. It does cool stuff. Why not? I've seen this in Storm. I've seen it in Teferi Mill. I mean, I think people are just happy that it shuts down Teferi because Planeswalkers can't use their abilities. And specific artifact destruction, non-existent in the meta right now. I mean, you might be able to exile this with a white spell. That's about it. And it's not like it's a combo piece. So if somebody gets rid of it, it's not like the game's over. This just takes your deck and really drives the point home that you have the board advantage. So no surprise, it's right around $20 right now. So if you still have one of these rolling around in your trade binder, first of all, secure it better. Why is it rolling around? And secondly, you should sell it. Now that said, could this stay the same price after the next set is released? Yeah, absolutely. So I'm not saying just fire sale it, but, you know, $20 is $20. Next up, Vivian Reed. It's not that I hate this card, it's that I hate the deck it's in. And the only reason this is expensive is because of the deck it's in, trust me. So it was in Saprolings when people still played that, and then it kind of wasn't in anything, but it didn't really dip. But then right now it's in black, green, I don't know what you'd call it, like Explorer Control Heavy, and then some kind of weird top end too. People mix it, but it's basically the Golgari mid-range deck that people have been playing with Explorer Heavy, but they don't go all in on Explorer. It's a lot of, well, ironically, 0 Undergrowth and 0 Golgari cards. But just explore removal, Vivian to ramp and to fetch, you know, more creatures, and then they just beat you with big old creatures. It's that simple. It's a real simple deck, but you need like half your deck to be control and removal to stand a chance at anything these days, which is why Standard is so aggravating and unplayable right now. And she's partly to blame. So yeah, she was, I don't know, $6, $7, $8, depending upon when you look at it in the past. But then she absolutely shot up like a week after GRN came out, and she's been about $25 ever since. So if you got one, I think she'll still be pretty good in any green deck. She'll probably help Gruul out a ton, so she ain't going anywhere price-wise in my opinion, unless Gruul is terrible. But I don't see the green-black deck losing anytime soon either. I don't see any kind of particular weakness coming out in the next set. So I don't know. I don't think this will go down, like I said, but, you know, it went up. So if you want some money or some trade credit and you don't want Vivian, go for it. So that's it for the most noteworthy spikes. I know not all of them were particularly recent, but I mean, GRN was the last set to come out. So if you didn't recheck prices after the meta shift after that, this is your little update. Hopefully this video ends up making some of you some money by selling something or trading it in or trading it to another person at an opportune time. And just a reminder, I was right, a bunch of you were still wrong, you still were talking out your asses, Scapeshift isn't worth a damn thing, Crucible of Worlds is garbage, and all of the Elder Dragons I believe are worth under $4. I told you they were unplayable garbage, I really don't know why anybody insisted anything different. Oh gee, 3-color cards right before a 2-color heavy set, what could possibly go wrong? Before somebody says it, Bolas doesn't count, he's in a league of his own, with Rosie O'Donnell playing softball. So don't forget to go check out Desolator Gaming. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.